Did you know 35% of Americans' biggest concern is a fire inside the home? Despite that number, only 59% have a working smoke detector. 43% have a fire extinguisher inside their house. Hi, my name is Richard Boulder. I'm a lieutenant for the city of Lauderhill, a career firefighter. I've worked for the city for 14 years, 6 as a company officers. In my career, I've given numerous classes on fire safety and fire extinguishers to high school students and adults alike. During my speech, we're going to cover what is fire, the 3 things that make it up, and how removing one of the 3 will put the fire out. Choosing the right fire extinguisher is important because we want to ultimately put the fire out and not make the fire worse or get hurt. By the end of this speech, you'll be proficient and confident that you can choose the right fire extinguisher, use it properly, and put the fire out. What is fire? We all know what fire is. We use it daily. We light our cigarettes. We melt our s'mores. We cook on our gas grills with it. But what makes it up? Fire is made up of 3 things: oxygen, fuel, and heat. We call this the fire triangle. You add a 4th element, which is the chemical reaction, and we call it a fire tetrahedron. Removing any of the 3 elements, either the oxygen, the fuel, or the heat, will put the fire out. However, different fuels burn differently, and water isn't the solve-all for all different types of fire. There are 5 main types of fire extinguishers that we're going to talk about today. The 5 main fire extinguishers we're going to cover are water, foam, dry powder, CO2, and wet chemical fire extinguishers. Let's go back to grade school for a second and talk about our different colors, shapes, and letters. First one is Class A, green triangle. Class A represents ordinary combustibles, wood, paper, cloth, etc. Next up is our Class B. These are going to be represented by a red square. Class B fires are going to be your flammable liquids: grease, oil, solvents, paints. The 3rd class of fires we're going to talk about is Class C fires, represented by a blue circle. The blue circle is going to represent electrical equipment, electrical panel, wiring, motors, etc. Next, yellow star with a big D in the middle of it. This yellow star is going to represent our combustible metals: magnesium, aluminum, etc. Lastly, the last class of fire we're going to talk about is Class K fires, black hexagon. Class K fires are going to be your kitchen fires, your grease, fats, so on and so forth. So, now that we've covered the different types of class of fires, we need to know which fire extinguishers can extinguish what fires. We're going to start with our water fire extinguishers, which is represented by the silver pressurized water can here. Your water fire extinguishers are only going to be good for those Class A fires, which is your ordinary combustibles. The next fire extinguisher we're going to talk about is foam fire extinguishers. I don't have a foam fire extinguisher here, but foam fire extinguishers are going to be for your Class A and Class B fires, so your ordinary combustibles and your flammable liquids. Next is your dry powder. These are the most common fire extinguishers. That's represented here in the middle. These are called multi-purpose. And you can see here in the fire extinguishers, the letter A, B, and C are written on the fire extinguisher, along with the shapes that we already covered. Those are going to cover your ordinary combustibles, your electrical equipment, and your metals. All right, the next fire extinguisher we're going to cover is the CO2 fire extinguisher, which is covered here. Again, on the fire extinguisher, you're going to see the similar symbols, the red square and the blue circle. The CO2 fire extinguishers are going to be good for your flammable liquids or your electrical equipment. The last one we talked about, which I don't have here, is going to be your wet chemical extinguisher. Wet chemical fire extinguishers are good for Class A fires and Class K, so your ordinary combustibles and your kitchen fires. Using fire extinguishers is the same for all different types. We have our acronym called the PASS: pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. So you see here, each fire extinguisher comes with a pin. We're going to pull that pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the handle, and do it in a sweeping motion until the fire is completely extinguished. In the case that you don't extinguish the fire, after one fire extinguisher use, it's recommended that you evacuate the building reports, activate your 911 system, and wait for the professionals to get there. I hope that this speech taught you everything you know about fire safety and fire extinguishers, and in the case you do need to use one, you do it safely and efficiently. Thank you.